He's like that villain in a movie who doesn't really want to go on the B&E, but goes anyways, and he ends up killing the best friend of the protagonist, and then the protagonist goes after him for the rest of the movie. That's Nicholas Backstrom.
Sitting in the goddamn lap, ride clean with my homies in the back.
Welcome back to Simple Stupid Sports. I am Kelsey, and today we are going to be talking about what happens in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Now, on the last bare minimum, I kind of broke down the only shit you need to know about hockey. Probably used too many Oscar references, but we'll see how much Leonardo DiCaprio I can keep out of this one. Playoffs hockey is really interesting because to get to the playoffs, teams need to earn a certain amount of points. Now, teams earn points by winning games. That's as much as I'm going to get into that because breaking down those points can sometimes seem really complicated and daunting. Alright, there are 16 teams that make the playoffs. These 16 teams can be divided into 4 divisions. Divisions don't really matter, they're just based on where the team is. You get these 4 teams in each division. Obviously, they're going to be matched up 2 by 2. Now this is where it goes in a little bit deeper. Every matchup, so let's say we're taking the Washington Capitals, who are the team that I root for. You first match them up with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Capitals and the Blue Jackets can play 7 games to determine who moves on to the next round. Each round consists of a possible 7 games. Basically, you got players from the underdog team like the Capitals going up against the Blue Jackets who are scrappy, and I don't like them, and they hurt Andrei Burakovsky and therefore are gutted in my heart. We'll get more into players and also why I'm so obsessed with the Capitals later, but I think they're a good example, especially this season, considering they are now in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, for the rest of the playoffs, you basically have 3 rounds. Your team can advance to the next round by winning 4 out of 7 games. Now, they can do that in any way they want. They can just sweep it and take it in 4 and make life so much fucking easier on everybody else, or they can take their goddamn sweet time and wait till game 7 and want to give you a heart attack and make you have anxiety every single day for 24 hours a day. I'm not bitter about it, I'm not, but Capitals, could you not have done it in 4? Did you really have to play with my heart? Tampa Bay Lightning, and even though Braden Point is on the Tampa Bay Lightning, he really sucked those last 2 games. Thank the fucking Lord. At the end of the day, I'm a sports fan, and I'm hoping to make you guys one too. To explain the rest, without me going off on a horrible tangent, the Stanley Cup is the winning trophy of hockey. It just looks like a fucking bird bath. It's silver, and it's important, and everybody wants it, and you get big shiny rings, and it's really cute, and everybody celebrates, and it's adorable, and we all cry, it's fine. But to get to that point, you have to first bypass 3 rounds. So you have to beat your opponents 3 times. And it works just like a normal bracket does. You've seen basketball brackets, hopefully. If not, maybe you've seen the Bachelor brackets. Those are a thing too. You got 16 teams. Those 16 teams will be whittled down to the final 8. From there, they will be whittled down to the final 4. And then they will be whittled down to the final 2. And that is where we are at as I'm filming right now. This is before game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. These finals are essentially like that scene in Hercules when he's lost all his power and fighting against those massive human demon thingies. I don't remember what they were. They were put away. Hercules is my favorite Disney movie. I should remember what they were. But if you have an allegiance to one of the teams, it literally feels like you might die, which is an exaggeration and unfathomable for probably most of the people watching this channel. I'm gonna do a video soon on kind of how to become obsessed with sports teams, but I think a good way to start is by watching something like the finals. Everybody's really hyped, it's high stakes, it's like a movie, except for it's real life. It's wonderful. I'm gonna be doing recaps throughout these finals because there's a possibility that there's only 4 games, and it's the Capitals versus the Vegas Golden Knights, who are what is called an expansion team. Now, an expansion team is really, really strange. It's basically when a city says, hey, we want something, and we want that something to be a hockey team? I mean, I think it's very strange. I feel like Las Vegas especially could have picked a lot of other teams. Yeah, I mean, sure, let's just throw a hockey team in the middle of fucking Nevada and like not name them anything casino related. So the Vegas Golden Knights are in their first year as a team, which is insane because they are now in the finals of the Stanley Cup. That would be like saying that a kindergartner just read like 15 books about medicine and is now a surgeon. That being said, the Golden Knights draft, which a draft is basically when you're picking players for your team. It's kind of like that high school thing where you don't want to be picked last, except for either you're picked or you're not, and it does not matter which order you're picked in. I don't know, maybe I'm still having high school flashbacks of being that last chick standing there because I can't run for shit. The Vegas Golden Knights were very, very smart and picked players who they knew would show up and who they knew would do a good job despite being on a first-year team. And it's been really successful. You know, they've got a really good goalie. His name is Marc-Andre Fleury. They call him Flower, which I think is adorable. They've got some great defensemen, including Nate Schmidt, who used to play for the team he is now playing against, the Washington Capitals. He's a super smiley dude, really funny. I highly suggest watching YouTube videos of him if you get a chance. And then they are playing the Washington Capitals, as I said, who are the team that I support and have also been around forever. And I mean, not forever. National Hockey League's only been around for 101 years. The Capitals have been a staple team, and they're stapled by one dude. That dude is named Oven Chicken. No, his name's Ovechkin, but that's how I pronounce it in my head. He's called the Great Eight. He's called Big Al. His name is Alexander Ovechkin. He's from Russia. He's 32 years old despite looking 56, and he's just a really good player. I mean, he's like the Amy Adams of hockey. He's been so close to winning so many times and then just not. And he's a very, very good captain to a young team. Capitals are made up of a lot of kind of hotshots. Just as I said in my Hockey Bare Minimum video, you know, you have that first line of two centers and a forward who are usually the most popular guys, and they're young, they're hungry, they run really hot. In this case, you've got people like Jacob Vrana, who looks like he still delivers papers on a bike. You've got people like Tom Wilson, who looks like he literally stepped out of like a Tom Ford cologne ad, but at the same time can hit people like an Olympic boxer. It's weird. It's a weird thing to watch, but it's pretty great to watch. You've got other people like Nicholas Backstrom, who is a Swedish man with very adorable ginger hair and is super scary. Yeah, he's like that villain in a movie who doesn't really want to go on the B&E, but goes anyways, and he ends up killing the best friend of the protagonist, and then the protagonist goes after him for the rest of the movie. That's Nicholas Backstrom. Then you have Andrei Burakovsky, who literally has like the face of a puppy and the abs of a guy who stands in front of Abercrombie & Fitch and like spins a sign but also just wears jean cut-off shorts and like tries to make you go in, but it's super intimidating and you don't even want to walk near him. At the end of the day, it's a really bad marketing scheme. Then you also have guys like Evgeny Kuznetsov, who you assume is just a father to 10 kids at this point. He's adorable and just one of those dads that you definitely see at preschool, like taking photos of his daughter while his wife is like, really gotta stop him from taking pics. He's gonna go in with her and he's like crying but not showing that he's crying. What I'm saying is they've got a lot of talent on this team. It's just a matter of putting it together. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be doing recaps throughout the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm just gonna try to go to Vegas because I live in Los Angeles, but tickets are more than my rent. So if anybody has Stanley Cup playoff tickets, Stanley Cup final tickets, because I can't speak words, and would love to donate them, I will be your charity case. If you saw my camera setup, you would realize it directly correlates with how many fucks I give. So on that note, I hope everybody has a wonderful Stanley Cup Finals. Please stay tuned here for more updates. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what type of videos you want to see, more bare minimums, athlete profiles, lists. Let me know. That's me, signing off.
But if I go